Hi Mark, thanks very much for agreeing to do this little interview. This is the first time that we've done one in relation to Lancashire this season. The position is that we go into this final game against Yorkshire at the Woodlands on Saturday with everything to play for. I'd like really for your observations on the game so far and what you feel the principal challenge will be on Saturday.
Well, I mean, right at the start of the campaign, I can't remember any time we've had two away games has started. And we've been to Chester against Cheshire, Bladen against Northumberland, and played against two really committed teams who threw everything into the breakdown. They'd trained to stop us playing. In a sense, we've played against two defensively minded teams, and whilst we haven't really sparkled as a team, we've come through with two away wins, which leaves us 2 from 2 in the group, and we're now facing who I would have thought at the start of the campaign were making themselves the favourites, which is Yorkshire, here at Fylde on Saturday. So again, the challenge is to develop from the two away wins up our levels, and really come out and play well at home against Yorkshire in the Roses match.
Given that the Lancashire team haven't been as free scoring as in previous years, how can you attribute that?
Like I say, I think we're playing against very committed opposition away from home. There isn't a weak side in the tournament this year, and for example, Cheshire had trained twice a week for a couple of weeks prior to our game. They'd really targeted us, as had Durham, and clearly as will Yorkshire. I mean, given our pedigree within the competition over the past decade and beyond, we're the team that everybody wants to, have a pop at and take on Lancashire, and we've got to be aware of that. And you're not always going to get free scoring barbarian type performances week in, week out, or championship out. Now, I knew, and I said to the players, this is going to be the toughest route we've had for a very, very long time, to get to a position where we're playing for the final. There were times within both games where it could have gone either way, and if we hadn't have had the mettle and the fortitude, we could easily have been looking at staving off a relegation threat playing Yorkshire on Saturday. So it's a massive credit to everybody involved, particularly obviously the players, that we have gone up to two very difficult places and got two very important away wins.
I don't want to put too much pressure on you or the team, but I'm looking back through the records. Lancashire haven't lost a home game in 10 years, which is quite a long time. Playing at Fylde obviously will give certain advantages. How do you see that?
Well, to be honest with you, you look at each campaign on its own merits. So it really doesn't. It's not really, my thinking, relevant. Previous records in terms of win-lose at home, because we play at different venues within the county. The teams change year on year. I just would focus on the here and now, which is we've played 2-1-2, and effectively we've got a clear-cut semi-final on Saturday. If we lose, we're out. There's no caveats that we get bonus points here, bonus points there. Mathematically, we can't lose and go through. So I prefer that. It's straightforward. We know that if we're going to be playing at Twickenham in the final, we have to beat Yorkshire.
A lot of effort goes into building a squad, getting them to train, getting them to commit at the end of a hard season. Presumably the players will be up for this.
The players wouldn't be here if they didn't want to be. There's been a numerous amount of players who have had a long season who've played for Lancashire before and quite legitimately said, look, I've had enough, my body's in bits, I need a break. There are players who can play 2 games, 1 game, maybe they're not sure if they can play in the final game, etc., because of various other commitments. Those players that take the pitch, and I'll reiterate this, none of them are getting paid for it. And the commitment is just as intense as if they were getting paid £1,000 a match. So there's never been, in my view, a question of a player's commitment. Once they are committed to the cause, like playing for Lancashire, but the same for Yorkshire, then they are going to be 100%. And I would also say that the Roses game is one of the traditional key fixtures within English rugby, stretching way back into antiquity. Lancashire Yorkshire, in anybody's book, even if it's tiddlywinks, there's a spice and an edge to it. And I think the players feel privileged and honoured to be representing, whether it's a White Rose or the Red Rose, their county in a Roses match. So not only is it a semi-final, it is a very important fixture within the rugby calendar.
On that matter, there's still a lot of people who criticise the Championship, say there's no future for county rugby, league rugby is all that matters, this is just a distraction, an unwelcome distraction, and a burden on players at the end of a heavy season. Is there a future for the county Championship?
Well, let me put it this way. If there isn't a future for it, then you're cutting off a real life source of energy for players, administrators, spectators, followers of the purity of the game. If you just say all there is league rugby with semi-professional, professional players, or whatever level it is, amateur players, and that there is nothing more. So they don't want cups. All these people don't want cups. They don't want county rugby. They just want league rugby. I don't know any other sport, maybe there is some sort of weird semi-lacrosse type of thing where you just have leagues. But if you look at cricket, there are cups. If you look at rugby league, there are cups. If you look at football, there are cups. There's different representative games. If we just say, right, all there will be is this hierarchical, and they talk about ring fencing the top end of the programme, so there's just this hierarchical league rugby for 30 or 26 games a year with no variety, no... And I'll give you, to answer the point and highlight the point, it's with a league structure, both teams, Lancashire Yorkshire, are in a semi-final on Saturday. Most of these players won't have played in a semi-final because they've never played in a cup, and it's a different mentality. You're not going out about amassing bonus points and scoring tries. You're purely going out to win a game, and league rugby doesn't provide for that. In a sense, playoffs may do, but they're very few and far between for players to get involved in that. So I think, in a long-winded way, before I go on a diatribe about it, I think that it'd be a crime against the spirit of the game if you did away with the county championship, because it brings players together from different clubs. It takes them out of the environment of the club atmosphere and tests the players, tests coaches, and it also, at the end of the season, and people forget this, the game is administrated and run through the constituent bodies. All the edicts might be sent down from Twickenham, but it is devolved through the shires. And I was looking on there are 21 different counties have won the county championship since its inception. So it's quite a broad base, and that it is a reward for the county championship at the end of the season for committee people who've been involved to share with the players and enjoy the county championship. You take that away and you not only lose the development of players, you lose the, what's the best way of putting it?
Some of the spirit of the game.
Spirit of the game, but it's at the end of the season. It's that passion for the county. That people who can't play anymore, but they put a lot of time and effort into running the game and delivering what comes through from Twickenham. The county championship and going to a county game is where they can say, right, I support my county here.
And it also feeds into, of course, into the England county setup, because without the county game, you wouldn't have any purpose.
Absolutely.
For counties representative rugby, so there would be no way of these semi-pro players, amateur players, being recognised with wearing an England shirt.
Exactly, and that you see that is that's the tip of the iceberg. But I was sort of, and you're right. I was looking at sort of broader, under the surface aspects of the game, and it is entrenched in the English game. It's county rugby, and these people who detract from change and just these, generally speaking, they're just treasurers who are looking at income, and I just think that loses sight on what the essence of rugby union is.
Does the RFU recognise these characteristics of the county game?
Well, I'm on a working party that is looking at the review of the county championship at senior level at under 20s. What's its purpose, what's its role. There is a definite will to maintain and develop the county championship going forward. Certainly our group will be recommending a positive outcome going forward. Clearly there are detractors, but you're interviewing me now at Fylde Rugby Club in the Bill Beaumont room, and the Bill Beaumont Cup is the competition we're involved in. Now, Bill Beaumont's put his name to it, and Bill Beaumont, I would suggest, is one of the iconic English figures of the game. Now, I would suggest that those people who seek to the demise of the county championship tread carefully, because you tread on many dreams.
Thank you very much, Mark Nelson.